Hi, everyone. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
And on this Camp Report Show, Bob, I have an interview with the promoter of one of the most iconic RV shows in the entire United States. It's Quartzsite, and it's coming up next month, and they're expecting record crowds. How about you?
Well, I've got a big show producer, and it's coming up next month, and it's in Florida. And Dave Kelly is the executive director of FRVTA. So we'll hit him with two shows, one on each
Well,
side of the country.
and that's great because they don't really compete with each other, but
Oh,
we
no,
know
no.
people that are going to be at both shows.
That's right.
And that's pretty cool. Plus, we have all the news of the week from our friends. Where, Bob?
At RV Business with, what's his name? Oh, yeah, Rick Kessler and his buddy Ben Quiggle from Woodall's Campground Magazine. Can't do
Those
it without.
stories,
Right.
those stories and more coming up next. Where?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro. That's Bob Zagami standing over there. And Bob, there is a big holiday coming up called Christmas, and it's one of the biggest travel times of the year. And our friends at AAA have come up with some astounding figures, and it appears that a lot of the post-COVID blues are over, and things are going back to 2019 levels.
Yeah, it's actually two holidays. So we got Christmas on one end, we got New Year's on the other end,
Yep.
and a lot of travel in between. So
Yep.
much so 115 million Americans are going to travel over the holidays, and that's up 2.2% from last year over
Yep.
that 10-day period.
Yep.
Yeah, people are getting back out. Certainly, a lot of them are on the road, getting out there, and gas prices don't bother them. Gas is about the same as it was last year, and that's probably true. They said in the article it was about 310. It was $3 down here in Florida today. So
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting. Let's just clarify when we say that 10-day period. But generally, people say from December 23rd to January 1st. Now, interesting this year because the Christmas and New Year's holidays are both on a Monday. Most companies and schools are back in operation on Tuesday, so it cuts down on the time period that families get to hit the road. But
to travel, yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, one of the interesting things is air travel is up and road travel is up. And AAA has come up with all these amazing statistics about what time of day you should travel, how many hours a day you should drive, how many miles a day, what's the best time of day to drive. But the reality is, if you're in the Northeast heading to Florida, as so many people do, Christmas or the day after Christmas, so much of the travel is determined by the weather conditions on the roadways. And people need to keep in mind that even though they've got reservations down south, don't be crazy and risk their families' lives by trying to drive in unfavorable weather conditions.
No, and that's great for statistics and what the average people do, but most people they get the wrong end of that, and they miss the date. They go out on the wrong time. There's an accident on the Mass Pike, or the beltway around Washington is bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper.
There's too many factors. It was interesting though. They said that the big fly-in day would be on the back end would be Saturday the 23rd going in, Thursday the 28th going out. So a lot of people making short trips.
Yeah.
And Saturday, December 30th, is when people would be heading back home from their holiday, which is good because the 28th is bad, the 30th is bad, and I'm flying back from Boston to Florida on the 29th. And I'm flying up on the 21st. So logic says I won't have any problems at all.
Well, here's another logical thing. I have flown quite a bit in the past year, and every time I've flown, in fact, I've been with you a couple of those times when I said, here's another 121 reasons why to own an RV, and there are 122 seats in that particular aircraft. It's always interesting to see the bump that the RV industry gets after big holiday travel weeks, especially by air, because I think they have put more seats on those same aircraft, and people are more crowded than ever before.
Well, the seats are getting smaller.
Yep.
No, but
Yep.
not only are they getting smaller, I flew Spirit a couple of weeks ago, and the the seats are thinner, but they're thinner all around. I mean, the back of it was like this. So
Oh yeah,
they
yeah,
not only do they squeeze you sideways
yeah,
by making them really thin and they're chintzy. It's like you would have bought it at Walmart or something, and they just screwed them into the ground, and
yeah.
they get more people in the row.
More
So
onto
yeah,
the plane. Yep, exactly,
it's
exactly.
not going to be fun. I can tell you
Yeah.
that.
So one of the things that's not chintzy and is getting rave reviews so far is a brand new travel trailer that's not even on the street, and you can't go to your RV dealer and buy it. It's called the Pebble Flow, Flow, and it's being introduced not at Dealer Open House in Elkhart, but at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Talk about that particular issue.
Yeah, and they just recently now consumer electronics is where everybody goes to see the latest and greatest toys and the technology. But they also just showed it at the Los Angeles Auto Show two 2 or 3 weeks ago. And they were showing the autonomous nature and backing up and
Yep.
all the things they do. They're very unconventional in that the majority of the founders came out of the EV world, Tesla, Rivian, those types of companies. They are not RV people. They are not thinking like RV companies. They literally took that blank piece of paper and said, if you're going to build a new RV today using new technologies and what have you,
This is how
this
you do it.
the Pebble Flow is. It's
Yep.
100% electric. When they say semi-autonomous, it is going to be controlled by a controller or your smartphone so that you can back it up without having to use the tow vehicle. Airstream showed something like this a couple of years ago, where you can bring the trailer to the car and drop it on the hitch. Same thing when you get to a campsite, you can stop, unhitch the car, and then remotely put that. A kid could do it. Just
Hmm.
hit reverse and put that thing right into the
Yep.
campsite exactly where you want it. So it's going to open up um, a new generation of RVs. There's another company out there also called Lightships that's doing something quite similar. The design is a little bit different, but they're doing the same thing with the electronics, the high-end electronics and high-end pricing. This one, that what's intriguing about this, I know the Lightship is going to come out pretty close to the Airstream numbers, which is going to be pretty high. This is scheduled to come out at $109,000, and they're taking deposits on it now. You can put down $100 on it now, but it's scheduled to come out at $109,000. That's in
Yep.
today's marketplace.
It's
That's a
dirt
good
cheap. Yep.
mid-range. It's a good mid-range product.
Right.
What it is, so they will find ready buyers, and you know the new generation of demographics for RVers, the Gen Zs, the millennials that want sustainability, want green vehicles, want technology, going to be a ready market for them. So
Yep.
yeah, and
And
CES
speaking
is going
speaking
to be
of
a format.
a ready market, it appears that the RV industry has kind of taken the hit that it was going to take for 2022 and 2023. And our friends at the RV Industry Association are predicting 350,000 units to be sold in 2024, which is down slightly from what do we hit? Do we hit 500,000 units a couple of years ago?
In 21,
In
in
21. Okay. So, those aren't really,
2020, 2021, right,
yeah, yeah.
right at COVID. Yeah,
And
yeah.
those aren't really real numbers
No,
that you can use to use as a basis of comparison because of COVID. But it's interesting to see the upswing that the industry appears to be heading in.
yeah, we're going to be out, end up 2023 at about 307,000 units. So 350 is a good start to go back up. The general
Yep.
consensus when we talk to the dealers and the manufacturers is we've really leveled out right now. So they're getting the manufacturing more in line with the demand, and it'll start creeping up after the consumer shows in January, February. So it'll start out slow. A lot of that number is going to be in the back end of the year, the last 6 months. The only thing that, well, there's several factors. It's always a challenge to try to pick out numbers a year ahead of time, but keep in mind that it's an election year. So there's a lot of anxiety with world affairs, with open borders, presidential candidates, and depending on how the election goes, it could help these numbers, or it could significantly hurt the numbers, depending on what they have. But where we stand right now, the economy, it's pliable, but people are still spending money.
Yep, they are.
There are
They are.
issues, there are challenges, but the moderate increase for next year, I think, is a good forecast for what it's intended to be.
Yeah, and one of the other stories, if you want to call it breaking news stories of 2024, is the story that we alluded to last week with a cross-country caravan from the East Coast to the West Coast. And we're happy to be part of that. Our friends at Winnebago, Campers Inn, RV Business, Woodall's, Spacious Skies Campgrounds, Spot Tonight, Easy Care, Go RVing, also RV Life, and the Camp Report Show, which obviously is right here, and RVing in New England and the New England RV Dealers Association are all involved in this program. I will be the traveler, and Bob will be staying back.
You'll be the on-air personnel
at the ranch. But we're really looking forward to it. In fact, it's as we tape this, it's 2 weeks from today that we hit the road on January 3rd. No, we hit the road on the day after Thanksgiving. Then we meet in Florida.
No, not the day after Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry, the day after.
You
know what? There's too many of these weekends coming up here with all these travel dates. The day after Christmas, and then we meet in Tallahassee, and through our friend Bob Kelly and about 35 other Winnebago View and Navion drivers, we crawl our way across the country in a 12-day period and head to Quartzsite. And then we're there for days with at least 250 other Winnebago View and Navion owners. But there'll be 250,000 RVers that winter in Quartzsite. So we're looking forward to bringing everybody up to date with weekly, and in fact, maybe even a couple times a week updates.
Even more. Yep. Maybe a couple of times a day, depending on the activities and where you are and what you discover. And nice of you to bring your wife, Mary Beth, along with you.
Nice of her to come along with me. That's really the whole thing. But you know what? People say, well, why are you doing it? Why are you doing this now? Well, this past year, we went to 7 funerals. 6 of the people that were deceased were younger than us. And we said, we've got to do this, folks. We've got to do this when we have our health. And everybody that you talk to, and I'm not talking about going full time, I'm talking about just taking an extended vacation.
Taking the time, right? Cut some time out for yourself, right?
Everybody that you talk to says, I wish I had done it sooner. So, you know what, folks, if you're on the fence about taking that extended vacation, get off the fence and go do it, because you can always come back to work a little bit later. In fact, you know what? You don't even scratch what I just said. You don't even have to stop working, because we're going to be continued to report virtually every day with all this new technology between Starlink and Travelify, et cetera, et cetera. We'll be doing our reporting and so many other business.
What's interesting? I don't know of another industry, but when you talk to somebody about RVs, instinctively, they will, even if they've never been an RVer, instinctively, they will say,
I'd love to do
that someday. I want to buy an RV someday. So if you all think about that, and if you all say that every day, stop saying it and do it. The worst that can happen is you get out there for a year or two and you don't like campgrounds and you don't like RVing. Well, guess what? Somebody else will be out there to buy
your unit.
But don't go through the end of life. Every time you see John or I, and we say something about an RV, and they say, "Oh, we love that. We're going to do that someday."
Someday,
like John
someday
said,
has never come.
I have a lot of friends that are never going to do it because they're not here anymore.
But I have a calendar here, a calendar book. I don't know if you can see it through that. There's a calendar book.
Yeah.
Okay. Nowhere in that calendar book is a day called someday. There's no someday in the calendar book. Okay. Someday is the day that you have to pick the day and then look for it and do it. So we're looking forward to sharing our travels with you and cordially invite you through look at the go to the RV Life travel app. It tells you exactly we're working off the RV Life travel app, and going from there with it. So
RV Trip Wizard and the
RV
GPS.
Trip Wizard.
Yep.
So that's that. So that is our
Right.
news segment. Stay with us. We've got two great segments coming right up. Where, Bob?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everyone. Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro. Welcome back to the Camper Report Show. Once a year on both sides of the country, two of the biggest shows take place, two of the biggest RV shows. And you've heard of the Florida show. And today we're going to tell you about another show that you've heard of because it's in its 41st year. And everybody pronounces it incorrectly, Quartzsite. And we have Kimmy King, who is the show promoter, owner of the show, chief cook and bottle washer, and probably everything in between during that 8-day period. And Kimmy, welcome to the Camper Report Show. We're looking forward to telling our audience about your great show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
So 41 years, obviously it predates you because you're not even that old.
I'm not.
But tell us about the history of the show back in 1985 or so.
So my dad started this show. The first show was in 83, and it was a tiny little tent. It was only, I think, 40 feet wide by maybe 100 feet in length. And the reason my dad found Quartzsite is he started selling RV awnings through A&E Awning Systems door to door, and stumbled into Quartzsite and started an RV show.
Door to door. And it's amazing the history of some of these shows because one of the retailers that we're working with on this trek across America to get there is Campers Inn. And, they've got stores all over the country now, but they started because the parents of the current president went to buy an RV and weren't treated with respect. So the guy said, I can do better than that, and bought a couple of trailers wholesale and sold them. And now they've got, I think, 45 stores. They're the largest family-owned dealership. So
you got to love that entrepreneurship.
Exactly. So the dates are what? January 20 through 28. And tell us exactly where Quartzsite is, because it's not showing up in one of the top 10 largest cities in the U.S.
So Quartzsite is a small little rock and gem town. It's a quiet town when we're not there. It is about 30 minutes past the Arizona-California border. Most people know it for the Love's truck stop that you stop to get your gas on the way over to Phoenix, or if you're going to Parker. But it's a quiet, small, quaint little town. It's only 3,500 population outside of our show. During the summer when it's hot, and it just blows up starting in November. November to March is that peak time in Quartzsite. And my show is in January, along with a couple other small shows that happen in January. But I like to think we're the main event. We are the big tent. We're known as the Quartzsite RV Show. We are it. We are there for people to come see what we have.
In the reading that I've done in the history of the show, it seems as though more than it just being a commercial venture, it's like a reunion for people that come to town. And it used to be nomadic people, but now it's, people that actually own houses.
Yeah. And it's just so interesting because I always say Quartzsite's a destination. It's not going to be your
right.
like hey, honey, we're in Phoenix. Let's just leave the house to go for 20 minutes to go check out some RVs. You know, Quartzsite is a place where people come, they gather, they get together, they walk through things, they get their rigs and they do the circles in the desert, and some enjoy the off the grid, some enjoy the full amenities in the RV parks. You know, it's just different, and people come year to year. I have people that come up to me and say, I've been coming here longer than you've been alive. And it's just such a cool experience that we're able to continue this generationally. Like, people's kids are now coming and people's grandkids are now coming through, and we're seeing more families, and our demographics getting a little younger. And it's just such a neat thing to see this like explosion in the RV industry, especially in Quartzsite.
Yeah. Now, the big tent is certainly the carrying card, whatever you want to call it, the
Yeah.
marquee visual of the show. What is in that tent? What are you going to find in that tent?
So you can find anything from solar panels to generators to cabinetry to pots and pans to some clothing to knickknacks that keep your RV, you know, like cabinetry to keep your spice rack nice and secure, or steering covers or wheel tires, and you know, tire pressure monitoring systems and braking systems. You know, we're eclectic. You know, it is our sports vacation and RV, but it's off-road, it's camping, it's families, it's the nomads, it's work campers. We are one of the biggest work camper shows. You know, I would say we probably have over 15 work camping companies coming in to look for those people to do the Harvest Beat Festival,
Oh,
JCPenney,
okay.
you know, Amazon, Golden Entertainment, Arizona Charlie's, Adventureland, like all those people looking to like travel and get and work. It's such a neat thing to do. I never knew it existed until I got into the company.
And they find their audience there. Now, as far as seminars are concerned, I understand that's kind of a new venture in the last couple of years.
Mhm.
So not only can you buy this stuff, but also learn how to use it. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yep. We have seminars happening every day from 10 to 3 during the show, and they're all educational and informative based. So you're not going to go in there and get pitched to. That's not what they're for. They're for you to learn how to install solar, to use your monitoring pressure system, to use your brake system, how to tow things, how to store your solar. You know, we had such a great response in 23 that we brought it back even bigger and better, and we're really excited to have it for 24.
Mm-hmm. Great, super.
And everything's there, everything's sponsored by you know, Stressless Camping. And it's just such a cool experience to learn why you shop. Why not?
Learn while you shop. And you'll have to deal with Tony every once in a while, right?
I
To
know,
be,
I know. The jokes, I
introducing.
know.
Well, is he going to be the MC extraordinaire of the seminars?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's the MC extraordinaire. He makes sure everything's on track. He's sponsoring it. I believe he's doing a couple of his own seminars. So you'll get all things Tony Barthel while you're there.
Yep, exactly. So what should somebody expect the first time? You've got somebody that just started RVing a couple years ago because of COVID, and they had the flexibility to, you know, work from the road. Somebody's coming and they're less than a 5-year RVer. What are they going to see? What are they going to understand? What are they going to learn?
So from a perspective of a new RVer, you'll have the ability to see so many things that are new to the RVing industry. You know, you'll have the ability to look at different products that you could add to your rig, learn how to keep maintenance of your rig. You'll have be able to look at other models. Say, yeah, I bought an RV 5 years ago, but what if I want to upgrade or change it up or downsize? RV Country will be there. RV Country sells all of their rigs at my show. They're exclusive RV dealer, my event. They have over 250 new and used rigs, and you can walk through any of them, trade, buy, you name it, they have it. You walk through the tent, you'll find things you didn't need, you didn't know you
Didn't
needed.
know existed.
Oh, you needed that garlic grater. I'm telling you, you need that garlic grater. Or, you know, you need that that solar panel, you know, or you needed these things that you didn't know you needed until you got to Quartzsite. And that's the great thing about Quartzsite, because you don't know what to expect till you get there. And I tell everybody they have to go at least once because it's so unique.
Yep, and that's what we're seeing, that so much of what I've read is so many people are back for their 3rd, 4th, 15th show, which means you're obviously doing something right. So how about a website? Now, there's no admission fee, right?
We are free parking, free entry, free seminars, free.
Get there on your own and have some fun.
Mhm.
Plan on spending, how many days do you need to really, if you want to see the show? You need 2-3 days?
I'd say 2 to 3 days. Like I say, a lot of people come for an experience. You know, most people who come through my show, I would say about 80% own an RV. And of that 80%, at least 50 to 60% of those people have them at the show and are in them part-time to full-time. You know, we have Yuma, we have Parker, we have Phoenix, we have Palm Springs. We have all these places where people are camping outside of Quartzsite. So they come in for the day, shop, go back to their rigs, and they come back.
Okay. There we go. So we want to thank you so much. I know that it's starting to be crunch time where all the final plans are being made. And I know that you'll guarantee perfect weather for anybody coming from any part of the United States.
You didn't know that I'm a weather god too? I
I heard that. I heard that as well. In fact, I think one of those behind me, there's a statue of you back there somewhere. So we want to thank you so much, Kimmy King, for being here to talk about Quartzsite and wish you the best. And we will see you because I'm making my first trip there.
We are so excited and we can't wait to have all of you. Again, January 20th to the 28th, 2024, we open at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Tickets are free and
free.
It's a fun place to go. This is the Camp Report Show. Stay with us. We've got a lot more.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show. And it's that time of year where everybody's worried about Christmas and New Year's, and Dave and I are worried about consumer shows and fill the buildings with RVs. Dave Kelly's my guest, president of the Florida RV Trade Association. Dave, always good to see you. But
good seeing you, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I wanted to get to you before the holidays really come upon us here, because in just about a month, you're on stage, right?
Yeah. You mentioned holidays. I don't even know what you're talking about. We celebrate in March down here once all the shows are finished. So
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot going on down here this time of year for sure.
Yep. And your dates, you got your industry day on the 16th of January.
Yep. Tuesday the 16th
Yep.
of January, and then 17 through 21, 5 public days.
And then the floodgates open. So I'm down here in Florida now too. So I'm coming back up for a couple of days to see it. But maybe just people in Florida let's talk first about the Florida residents. Now, we know we get people from all over the country, but for the Florida residents that may be new here or have never gone to the Florida show, give them a little sample of what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we just had a smaller show, a regional show out at the fairgrounds, and had a great show, over 7,300 people, which is almost all Tampa area residents. So the residents are still coming out. They're still interested in looking and kicking tires and whatnot. And you know, our group, as you know, Bob, they're travelers. So anywhere in Florida, other than maybe the Panhandle or the Keys, you're only a few hours from the Tampa market. So it's an easy, 1-day drive to come over and see the show. It's unlike anything you've seen before if you've never been to the SuperShow. I mean, we do smaller, what we call regional shows around the state, but if you've been to those and never seen the SuperShow, you owe it to yourself, because it's a manufacturer show, as you know, and the manufacturers buy the space. So anything the manufacturer produces is going to be on the grounds in Tampa here in a few days and a few weeks. And it just makes it so much easier to compare the products that are out there when they're all in one location. And that's what we strive to do, is have everyone here.
And you're right. It is an experience. I know once the first time I went, I don't ever want to not go again. But lots of these shows that they go to, they don't understand the manufacturer's show type of logic, because if you want to see all the Fleetwood brands, it's in one section. You're not you're not visiting 5 or 6 dealers to see all the Winnebagos that you want to see. They're all there, and it is such a dramatic difference in the way that you navigate a show and being easy to find what's at the show. I think it's one of the big hallmarks of the show itself. Now, the other thing too is a lot of people down here, this is a destination location. I mean, this is something that every January they build their vacation, they build the trip, they stay on the ground. You have camping on the ground. They stay and they come back 2 or 3 days, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and then we do a 2-day ticket also. So when you buy a general admission, you get a ticket for the next day or any other day of the show. So I mean, as you said, it's so big. You really owe it to yourself to spend 2 full days at the show if you're really shopping and trying to see everything. I mean, you could probably spend a day in just the booth and accessory buildings that we have, all the parts and accessories that are out there. I mean, if you're looking for it, I mean, it's got to be on the grounds at the fairgrounds during that time because just about everybody is represented.
Oh yeah, those two large buildings, you're right, and they're always full. I mean, because everybody wants to see what's new, and it's not like, well, there's 10 of them over there, so we'll go see them. You got two giant buildings with everything under the sun, from grills to pots to accessories to, axles and air conditioners. This show should be done before Christmas. That'd be a nice shoppers list for everybody. But
Yeah, you could.
I think after they're done with Christmas and the holidays, it's a welcome event to go out there for a couple of days and having that luxury of 2 days. Maybe spend 5 or 6 hours at the show, go out for a nice dinner, compare notes, see what you thought that day, see what you missed, look at the map, because there's always something that you miss because it's so big, and then go back the second day and either consummate the deal or see the other things that you didn't see.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all brand new products. It's all 2024. So this is the latest and greatest, appliances, electronics, you name it. I mean, this is all the cutting edge. And a lot of people come not necessarily to purchase, but just to see kind of what's new and what's out there. And how are floor plans changed? How are the colors and styles and the flooring and all of the things that go with it? Um, it's just a great place to kind of catch up with the industry if you haven't been to a show in a while.
Well, there's very few shows. In fact, there is no other show in this country where you could go and see a $15,000 pop-up trailer and a $3 million bus conversion. And if between $15 and $3 million, they can't find something to take home with them, then maybe they're not RVers. But it's an amazing thing to see. You have a whole building full of Prevost and Millenniums and Liberty coaches and in that one building. And even though you might never buy one, you sure as hell want to go look at it.
That's the truth. They line up to look at those luxury buses, and it's great. And that's what's nice about a show like this is you can, even though you may not be in the market for it, you can kind of see how the other half lives, and like you said, everything from the smallest, lightest, most inexpensive RV on the market all the way up to the big guys. So there's an RV that fits, any budget, any lifestyle, really.
You're right, and because of the space that you have available, so a lot of shows that you go to may not even have pop-ups anymore because I think that's not a big. They may not have truck campus, so they'll put a lot of towables, put a lot of motorhomes, so they'll try to get that core product. But you spread it out. You got something literally for everybody, and it's a massive. I mean, the fairgrounds is big. But you run trams, and explain the tram system so that they know they won't have to walk 10 miles.
Yeah, now we're not able to run the trams within the show grounds because of insurance regulations and whatnot, but we will be doing a tram from the gates 1 and 3 to the north end of the show. It'll run outside of the show area, but it'll still be an easy way to get up to that north part of the show.
Sure.
And then we have a tram at the entrance to get you from where you buy your ticket up to the entrance to the show, and then trams in the parking lot to get you from your car up to the gate. So, but even with that, Bob, as wear your walking shoes and
comfortable, right?
and comfortable clothes because it's a full day to get around the show.
And you won't go hungry either.
Oh no, no, we
I
have.
don't eat dinner when I come home from your show, Dave. I don't eat dinner. The
We have
first thing my
that.
wife says is, what did you eat up there today?"
Yeah, no, don't tell her that you're eating corn dogs and funnel cakes and we have a lot of the fair type foods, but then we also have a lot of healthy options, salads and sandwiches, and I know some of the people are on restricted diet, so we try to cater to the audience that's coming out to the show.
How about the other thing that you do that's kind of unique is entertainment.
We do. We have nonstop entertainers. As soon as you turn the corner, you may run into a magician, a juggler, a clown, a unicyclist. We have robots. We have at 2 o'clock every day, the St. Andrews Bagpipe Band comes through the show. And buddy, if that wakes you up in the afternoon to hear a bagpipe band come by you, and then all of our entertainers do a parade later in the afternoon all the way around the show. So
All
it's
around.
Bob, it's a fun industry. It's what we sell is fun. What we sell is family, entertainment, and so we carry that in from the minute you walk into the show with our steel drum bands, banging out the music at the entrance, all the way through to the guy dressed as a potted plant, or, you name it. I mean, the more unusual, the better I like it. So, and those are the kinds of things that people remember. They may not remember, that trailer they saw, but they do remember the entertainment. And for $15 and you get a 2-day ticket, it's hard to find entertainment for that value.
Well, it is, and it truly is a family show. We know it's a family industry. We know, families make up a large contingent of our buyers, but so also do young families and young couples. We got, 19, 20-year-old kids getting out of high school, buying a band camper and taking off like they used to do back in the 60s and 70s. We got mature couples that want that big diesel pusher while they retire and go across the country. So you get everything and everybody down there, and the family end of it is really good because there's so much to do, and it's just a fun day out, and even maybe 2 days for the family. And kids love RVs. They just
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and we do under 16 are free, so it's inexpensive to bring the whole family out, bring the kids out. We also, I don't know, we talked about the seminars and the information
I was just
part of
going
the
to tell
show.
you. Yeah.
I mean, it's huge. We have so many people that have just come into the industry in the last couple of years. Where do I go? How do I use my unit? How do I get off the grid? How do I, what's lithium batteries all about? What are, and so we have
How much
fire
can I
safety.
tow? How much can I
Yeah,
tow and
yeah,
drag?
exactly. I mean, as you know, anything like this you get into, you start with a mountain full of questions. And so shows like this are great because you don't feel the pressure you may feel walking onto a dealer's lot and telling a guy, look, I don't know a thing about this, explain it to me from A to Z. But if shows like this are a great place to not only learn from dealers and in this case manufacturers and the manufacturers reps, but when you're sitting there having your funnel cake and you're sitting at a picnic table, another couple will sit next to you and you can just talk to them about, what do you own? Where have you been? What do you do it? How do you negotiate this lifestyle? And I think you can learn more about this whole industry by just sitting down and talking to a couple that's been at it for a few years. And the most
Absolutely,
friendliest people you'll ever meet.
they
So you
are.
don't have to twist their arm to get them to talk about it.
No,
So.
they will talk, and they will tell you, they freely talk about what they like, what they don't like, what they bought, why they bought it. I think it's a big part of the show, any show, because
Yes, yes.
especially with the number of new people that we're getting into the business, and you talk to anybody, any show promoter, we have the same issues with our Boston show. Is we have to put those seminars on because we have so many people that are not getting as much education as they should when they buy the product. That people are
Yeah.
busy, but they have to have that education about electricity, about drivetrains and what your towing capacity. There is so much to learn about this, and we shouldn't shy away from that. We want people to sit in on the seminars. We want them to understand because then they're going to enjoy the lifestyle and they're going to keep coming back.
Well, and there are, as cliche as it is, there are no stupid questions when it comes to this, and
No?
there are a lot of issues, not just not just the traveling, not just the driving, but like you said, plugging into a campground. What do I need to know? How about hooking up my sewer and the water pressure? And I mean, there's an endless list of things that you could think of that you would have questions for. And it's just a great venue to get those questions answered without trying, feeling the pressure you may feel by going onto a dealer's lot and asking those same questions. So
any introductions of new vehicles or stuff that you can tell us about, or is that they keep them under wraps until?
No, they're kind of playing it.
Because there's always going to be either a new manufacturer or a new floor plan or a new something. There's always something new and more than one too.
Oh yeah, no, they're playing it pretty close to the vest this year. Usually right before the show, they'll let us know they're going to do an unveiling on opening day or that evening or whatever. So oh yeah, I mean, there's always something new and interesting and fun that's going on in the industry. So
yeah, it's just a fun time.
it is, and the weather's beautiful. I mean, you don't have to twist anyone's arm to get them to come to Florida in January. So, I mean, we're really anticipating a big turnout again this year.
Fantastic. All right. My guest is Dave Kelly, president of the Florida RV Trade Association. We'll put all the URLs down below and we'll throw some graphics up on top of it, Dave. But one more time, give them the dates and the location.
The 16th, Tuesday, January 16th is Industry Day. We open to the public on the 17th through the 21st, which is Wednesday through Sunday. 9 to 6 every day and 9 to 5 on Sunday. $15 for adults. Like as I said, kids under 16 free, so bring the kids out. Senior discounts, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, $2 off admission. Buy your tickets online. It saves you standing in line at the fairgrounds. Save $2 off doing it that way. So,
and it's at the Florida State Fairgrounds.
Florida State Fairgrounds, right outside of Tampa, right at the center of 75 and I-4. Couldn't be any easier to get in and out of.
You can't miss it because even if you don't know where you're going, it's
you'll see it coming down the interstate.
You will see it. All right, Dave, I will be up to see you next month during the show. I hope everybody else comes down to see the largest show in the country. It's just a great fun time, and wish you the best of luck with it again this year.
Thank you, Bob. We'll see you in a few weeks.
All right.